In the chilling month of November 1827, the winds of Erinborough, the capital of Scotland, cut through the air, bringing an icy bite to the coastal region of Konkan. Amidst the bitter cold, a man named Hare, once a humble laborer turned landlord, found himself in dire straits. His tenant, Donald, had met his demise without settling a debt of £4, leaving Hare consumed by a maddening rage. Desperation gnawed at his soul, pushing him to confide in his longtime friend and colleague William Burke. Burke, upon hearing Hare's woeful tale, offered a strange suggestion that sent shivers down Hare's spine. He whispered in hushed tones, "You could sell Donald's body, Hare." The words hung in the frigid air, carrying an unholy weight. Erinborough had become a pilgrimage site for medical research, where surgeons sought corpses for anatomical study and scientific exploration. Throughout England, the demand for bodies for research and medical donations was insatiable. It was during the winter, from October to May, that the dissection season reigned, for corpses could be easily preserved. In this macabre market, the price of cadavers soared. In the summer, a lifeless shell could fetch £5, but as winter's grip tightened, the value doubled to 10. The demand was so voracious during this cold season that graves had to be vigilantly guarded to prevent the theft of bodies. And so, it was the lifeless vessel of Donald that became an object of sinister value to Hare. With a twisted determination, Burke and Hare hastened under cover of night to Erinborough University, clutching the precious corpse in their trembling hands. They were clueless about the mechanics of selling a cadaver, but a serendipitous encounter led them to a student who guided them to their destination, the lair of Dr. Knox. Dr. Knox, a renowned teacher at the anatomy school in Surgeons Square, held sway over the eager minds of medical students. His establishment was infamous for its popularity among the seekers of medical knowledge. Knox's piercing gaze fell upon Donald's lifeless body, his expertise gauging its worth. Without hesitation, he pressed £7 into Burke's eager palms. A fortune by today's standards. They were overwhelmed by the unexpected bounty, and Burke and Hare embarked on their journey back, their hearts exulting in newfound wealth. But fate, in its perverse whims, would soon cast a sinister shadow over their malevolent endeavors. In the dead of night, as they retraced their steps, a haunting voice pierced the darkness, summoning Dr. Knox to procure more bodies. The chilling request resonated through the air, setting their hearts pounding with a mix of anticipation and dread. No, they would not stoop to pilfering graves like common thieves. They craved a more treacherous path that led them to the doorstep of the impoverished, the forsaken, and the forgotten, souls who would vanish without notice. The identity of their first victim, lost to the annals of history, mattered not. Their unholy crusade commenced in January 1828, and perhaps it was a man named Joseph who became their unwitting prey. Like Donald, Joseph too resided within the walls of Hare's boarding house. Panic gripped Hare's wife Margaret when Joseph fell ill with a raging fever. It was in this moment of despair that Hare sought solace in Burke's twisted mind. Their decision was electrifying. A fatal course of action lay before them. They would snuff out Joseph's feeble existence, selling his body as they had done before. With a calculated brutality, they lured Joseph into a state of unconsciousness, his senses dulled by the potent sting of whiskey. Seizing the opportune moment, they silenced his feeble breath, extinguishing his life forever. Their wicked plan unfolded flawlessly as they sold Joseph's corpse to Dr. Knox, reaping a handsome reward of £10. The pair's nefarious deeds continued unabated, claiming the lives of an English businessman, an elderly woman, and a humble salt seller named Abigail Simpson. Whiskey became their macabre accomplice, an instrument of death that marked each sinister act. They became meticulous in their selection, preying upon their victims one by one, bodies destined for the dissecting table. But even in their malevolence, fate played a cruel hand, causing them to falter. Their sights fell upon a beggar named Jamie Wilson, a familiar face in Erinborough's streets. Hare ensnared him, luring him into the confines of his abode. The old ways were invoked once more as Jamie's life was extinguished in cold blood. Yet this time, fate interjected, for Jamie's disappearance did not go unnoticed. Whispers of his absence echoed through the city, reaching the ears of the inhabitants. Dr. Knox's intervention, however, would soon tip the scales in favor of darkness, shielding Burke and Hare from the prying eyes of suspicion. But as life teetered on the precipice of discovery, fate unleashed its final blow. Their hands stained with the blood of countless victims, Hare and Burke found themselves in the midst of murdering an Irish woman named Margaret Detcherdy. Her cries for mercy, her desperate pleas, rang out into the night, her soul slipping away into eternal darkness. It was Margaret's haunting screams that awakened suspicion in the heart of Andrew, a tenant in Hare's boarding house. But Hare's wife, driven by her own twisted loyalty, forbade Andrew from entering the forbidden chamber. Curiosity, an insidious beast, consumed Andrew's soul, compelling him to breach the threshold. And there, in the dimly lit room, he beheld the lifeless form of Margaret, a grotesque tableau of horror. A primal fear gripped him, and without hesitation he alerted the authorities. But by the time the alarm was raised, Margaret's lifeless shell had already found its way into Dr. Knox's cold embrace. Burke and Hare, the architects of terror, had snuffed out the lives of 16 innocent souls in the span of 10 harrowing months. Their gruesome deeds filled their pockets with a sum of £110. Yet such ill-gotten wealth was fated to be squandered on the bitter taste of alcohol, their souls consumed by the very darkness they had propagated. While the authorities stumbled upon Margaret's lifeless form, the evidence fell short of proving the true extent of their murderous rampage. But the wheels of justice, slow but inexorable, turned their gaze upon the wicked. Hare, standing before the court, faced his wife, as both of their lives hung in the balance. Burke, having been found guilty of Margaret's murder, met his fate at the hands of the executioner, a public hanging witnessed by a crowd of 25,000 souls, their eyes wide with a morbid fascination. In death, Burke found no respite from his grisly deeds, for his lifeless body, devoid of remorse, was sent to the Erinborough Medical School. To this day, his skeletal remains dangle in the grotesque exhibition, a macabre spectacle that elicits both dread and morbid curiosity. And as a cruel memento of his wickedness, a pocketbook, its cover crafted from his own flesh, is preserved in the museum, a chilling reminder of the depths to which mankind can descend. Despite the severe punishment inflicted upon William Burke, his partner in crime, William Hare, managed to evade the clutches of guilt. Dr. Robert Knox, the mastermind behind the demand for fresh corpses, eluded the consequences of his insatiable hunger for anatomical knowledge. Yet even in his escape, the shadows of his misdeeds haunted him, forever tainting his existence. Eradicating his presence from Erinborough became an inevitable consequence, a just penance for his sins. And so, the tale of Burke and Hare, woven from the threads of horror and depravity, stands as a haunting reminder of humanity's darkest inclinations. Their journey into the abyss of murder and betrayal leaves an indelible mark on history, a chilling testament to the fragility of life and the depths of human cruelty. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey into the dark and haunting tale of Burke and Hare, the notorious serial killers who stopped at nothing to supply corpses. We hope this video has shed light on this harrowing chapter of history. If you found this video as intriguing and bone-chilling as we did, be sure to hit the like button and share it with your friends and fellow true crime enthusiasts. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more captivating content on history's most notorious mysteries and sinister tales. We'd love to hear your thoughts and insights on this story, so please leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts on Burke and Hare's sinister deeds. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and stay tuned for more spine-tingling stories.